Hello, this is Todd Luck, and in 1984, the movie Greystoke was released starring Christopher Lambert as Tarzan. And as far as I know, no merchandise of Greystoke was ever released. However, there was merchandise released at the time based on the Tarzan novels, like this Marvel Super Special adapting the first half of Tarzan of the Apes. And it featured this absolutely gorgeous cover painting by Charles Wren. And so he had actually several paintings that ran in the Marvel Super Special, as well as on the covers of a two-issue miniseries that reprinted the Super Special on the newsstands. And as far as I can tell, these are the only Tarzan paintings that Charles Wren has done. So my assumption is that this artist was probably contracted to do paintings for the merchandising push they were doing to coincide with the movie. And so that included a very small line of action figures, which were basically just figures of Tarzan and Kala, his ape mother. And there was other merchandise that came from this brief push for Tarzan at the time, including this storybook. There was a Milton Bradley board game. And of course, the reason I'm making this video is that there was a video game, and that came out for the ColecoVision, and you're seeing the box art for it right now. Charles Wren's painting repurposed for that, and it was also used on the instruction manual for the game. Remember back when video games used to have instruction manuals? Ah, the good old days. And so the game is pre 8-bit, so you got to use your imagination a little bit with the graphics, but this is actually very ambitious for the time. Tarzan can fight, he can swing on vines, he can climb trees, he can swim. This is actually a pretty robust game for the time. There are a variety of animals that are enemies in the game, as well as hunters. The goal is to free captive apes from cages, and that also includes your little monkey buddy, Nekima, who is actually in the game. Once you free him, he'll follow you along and he'll warn you of danger. And that's kind of a neat touch, and again, really ambitious for its time. And they did their best to give the music a jungle vibe. Here's what the game sounded like. There's even a climactic stage in Opar where you fight the beastmen of Opar to free the final apes from their cages. And when you get to the top, you do a Tarzan yell in triumph. Now, if you know anything about video game history, you may be saying to yourself, well, ColecoVision is nice, but why didn't they come out with it for the Atari 2600? That was the more popular system at the time. Well, they absolutely plan to. You're looking at the instruction manual that would have come with the Atari 2600 version of Tarzan. And they made the game, but unfortunately, there was the video game crash of the 80s, and it was canceled like so many other titles. And it's been lost to time until now. So it has been released on the internet, and you're looking at it right now. As far as I can tell, it is a fully functional, complete version, though it does have a little bit of corruption you can see in the upper left with that black box there that's always on the screen. But other than that, this is the Atari 2600 Tarzan, and the graphics are a little simpler, but I think it's got that kind of Atari charm. You know, it sort of reminds me of Pitfall a little bit, but it seems to have just about everything intact from the ColecoVision game, except for Nekima. He doesn't make an appearance, but everything else is here. You can swing on the vines, you can climb on the trees, you can punch your apes, you can go swimming with crocodiles if you want. You've got your hunters that you can either fight or avoid, and there's even levels in here that weren't in the ColecoVision version. So you've got Tarzan climbing a canyon. He's got to avoid these falling rocks, and those lines you see on the canyon wall are little cliffs that he can get under to shield him from the boulders that are falling. And the stage where you have to climb the temple in Opar is also here. You got to free the apes there and fight the beastmen of Opar. But unlike the ColecoVision version, this is not the climactic stage of the game. Actually, you get on a vine after you rescue the apes, and then you keep going. And there's a new climactic stage that you'll get to. And you're looking at it right here. These apes are being lowered in cages down this chain. You got to jump over and save them, and then jump back to the cliff. Otherwise, you'll get shaken off. And I want to thank YouTuber Arata Non Grata, who was the first person I saw to figure out how to beat this stage. And I'm using his footage of his playthrough of this game for this video, and I'll link to it in the comments below. And so both versions of the game were made by Coleco. And I gotta say, as ambitious as it was on the ColecoVision, it seems equally as ambitious for Atari 2600. And actually, the Atari 2600, I think, has better music than the ColecoVision version. And they even threw in their own version of the Tarzan yell in that final stage as he's rescuing the apes, which is kind of neat, though not the first Tarzan yell on Atari 2600. That would have been Pitfall whenever you grab a vine. And so the ROM for this game has been dumped online, and it is available on Atari Mania. And so on there, you can download it if you have the knowledge about how to emulate it, or you can click on that little joystick icon that says play it. And it will open up a fantastic Atari 2600 emulator in your browser, and you can play it in your internet browser to your heart's content. By the way, if you're interested in the history and the development of this game, Video Game History Foundation has a fantastic article on it that I'll link to in the comments below. By the way, if you want that gorgeous cover art on a t-shirt, it is available on Amazon, and the easiest way to find it is to go to amazon.com/Tarzan on a web browser, and that'll take you to the Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. store, and that's got all kinds of Tarzan apparel and books and audiobooks and all that good stuff. Thank you to everyone who helped get this game out there, and I'm so glad that Atari has such a passionate fan base. All right, guys, like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time.